Yo guys, it's time. It's been time. So the final issue of the Babyface Adventures is here. I mean, it's been here. And I think I'm going to cover it for you guys one last time. Damn, I'm getting a little emotional knowing that this is our last outing with our boy Babyface. I'm going to miss this man's and his insane adventures. So last issue changed up the formula of the comic run entirely as we dove directly into the mind of our beloved Edward Nashton, as the Edward that we have come to know and love officially isn't there anymore. He's completely checked out. Babyface gone bye-bye. The Riddler has officially entered the building and he is here to inflict his own version of vengeance on everyone who has done him wrong and anyone who does him wrong from here on out. So with that being said, I think it's officially time to dive into this issue and see how this series ends. Let's dive in one last time. So we open up to Miss June and her baby having a cozy night in together. She is on the couch, Netflix and chilling with her daughter next to her. Life is about as good as it can get. Suddenly, there's a loud knock on the door as it diverts her attention from what she was watching. Miss June asks who it is, hears nothing, and opens the door to find an envelope lying on the ground at her feet. On it is a green question mark. She looks around to see who might have dropped it off. No one in sight. Just darkness, the sounds of silence, and nothing but mystery within the air. She closes the door, looks back at her child and smiles, then heads over to the couch to open up the mysterious envelope that was left for her. Inside are 2 train tickets and a note telling her to turn on her computer. As she follows the instructions, a familiar chat log pops up. "What is this?" Anna asks. "Your ticket out of here." "But they will come after me." "No, they won't. October 30th will be your last day at work. You will receive a package, follow the instructions, then go to the train." "You're crazy. Who are you? It's not safe." "I know how they killed your father." "Dear mother, why did you leave me?" "Okay, everyone, follow me," the guide tells the group of tourists, Babyface being one of them, as we're at what I presume to be Arkham Asylum, or what once was. The guide tells the group how they are at the oldest part of the hospital, and the first part to be used by Amadeus Arkham himself. "And why did they take you here?" Edward wonders as he wanders through the halls of the place his mother spent the last days of her life. "Is this where he went crazy?" one of the tourists asks as he gets yelled at for being insensitive. Another member of the group questions if the guide has ever seen the ghost of Amadeus. "They put you in with the crazies, with the criminally insane. Were you?" Edward wonders, hoping to get some sort of answer back, but knows he never will. The guide shows the group to the maximum security wing and proceeds to say that only specially authorized hospital employees are allowed in there. One of the tourists asks why they're even allowed to tour if the place is so dangerous. He gets reassured that it's because the city is broke and they'll do anything to make $1. No integrity, nor any respect for the dead or past patients. The guide further leads them to the medical wing. When the hospital was once in its prime, the Wayne family donated money to help upgrade certain facilities, as the original rooms were deemed inhumane, as it used to be very Jacob's Ladder, Grave Encounters, and Silent Hill-like. I assume the original state was the ideal place for people to get better and flourish into a stable and healthy mental state. "This is their idea of humane?" one of the tourists asks, as he is not convinced that this was once a place to flourish in. "Did they do it, or did you?" our boy continues to think to himself. "I will come home for a different reason, mother. The Ark will be our life raft. We will watch the rats drown, their little feet flailing as they sink. When it's safe, he and I will break out together, and we will walk into a better world." The Riddler, Year 1, Chapter 6, Judgment Day. October 24th, Thursday. Don Mitchell is making yet again another campaign speech. I believe in Gotham, he says. The future of Gotham is bright, he says. I will take Gotham and build back better, he says. As if anyone who says that truly means it and has any sort of good within their heart. All he is another crooked puppet for the cracked up people above him. Another pawn in the grand scheme of things. Nothing will be any different. He nor any candidate will make a real change. There's one more week until I unmask the truth. The people will finally see who this man really is, as well as everyone else I have within my crosshairs. Mentally, I am ready. I never lack in that department, believe you me. But physically, I must put in the hours. I've been in the gym every day for the last month and a half, and proceed to watch Taxi Driver immediately after to brush up on my inspirations. Travis Bickle is literally me. On my rest days, if I even take them, I make sure to thoroughly study the entire Saw series, as well as watch every documentary on the Zodiac Killer. They are also literally me. I take notes and have journals full of all of my studies to make me into the perfect specimen, although I don't need to, since nothing slips through this iron mind of mine. I just need everything to be perfect for when Judgment Day comes, but I know it will all go according to plan. I am placing down the final touches, and oh boy, do all the pieces fit perfectly. My masterpiece is nearly ready to be unveiled, and nobody is ready for what I have in store. I have followed your work as closely as I can. A man alone against a city, especially a city that's out to get you, especially a city where you're never meant to win or even let alone get ahead. Batman, I have tried to reach you, but all previous methods have failed. Until tomorrow, when you will finally come and answer my calls. You are such a hard man to reach. Who are you? Are you just like me? Because in all my nights obsessing over you, you really seem to be a perfect reflection of my shattered self. A piece of me which is broken off and manifested into the very thing in which you are when you stalk the streets of Gotham. When you were out there fulfilling your purpose. Could you be in some building close by, or in some warehouse across the river, waiting for your light to hit the sky? Are you one of us? Would I know if I saw you? When do you sleep, or do you even sleep, you nocturnal wonder of the night? Will you be my friend? I know we would be perfect for one another. You don't have to do this alone. I could help you, and you could help me. Am I awake, or am I dreaming? Shh. Just breathe. October 30th, one day before Halloween, one day before I can walk outside with my mask on and know that this is my true face, with no one questioning it, thinking it's only for the holiday. I know that Batman's mask is his true face as well. How could it not be? I know him so well. I don't even care who's beneath the mask, because the real him is on full display. I don't think anyone but myself truly understands that. Nobody gets it. They all miss the point. The server is currently going wild with excitement. I feel like for once in my life, I finally matter. I feel a level of respect, a sense of purpose. People finally look to me for guidance. I finally feel like the leader I've always wanted to be, almost like I'm somebody's hero. I am somebody's hero. We change over to Miss June. She has received a package from Patrick Parker, our boy. She opens it to find a note saying to feed the thing in the back and to leave the door unlocked. Confused, she digs deeper into the package to find an uncooked steak with what looks like 3 pills hidden inside of it. We catch up with Higgins down in his lair, who's about to make a run down to the Penguin. Higgins says he fucking hates that guy, as if he is any better than Oz is. At least Oswald has charm and charisma. Higgins is nothing but bottom-feeding scum. Edward creeps from afar to see Higgins crawl into his van and drive off. Miss June approaches the lair with the drugged piece of meat which she was gifted. She hesitates, unsure on what she is getting herself into, and proceeds inside. Dark, dingy, looking like the set of Hellraiser, she walks in and stops dead in her tracks, now horrified. Two eyes emerge from the darkness as the creature the eyes belong to stay hidden, low in the shadows. Miss June tosses the uncooked meat and makes a run for it, not looking back. Once outside, she tapes the door open following Babyface's orders, then closes the gate and makes her much-needed break for a better life. A life away from Gotham. A life away from the painful memories and lost loved ones. A life where her and her daughter can start anew and not have to worry about the uncertainties of tomorrow. It's what her father would have wanted, for her to have a future where it isn't raining all of the time. A future where the rain finally stops. Babyface, who is waiting outside of New Beginnings the entire time, will now wait 20 minutes until the thing downstairs is asleep to further his plans. Then, as the time passes, our sneaky boy creeps into its lair and proceeds to snap the chains holding it within the depths of where it lay, knowing full well that monster will have free roam of the entirety of Higgins' lair and potentially the surfaces of Gotham. October 31st. Happy Halloween. I wake up, I feel clear, strong, ready. My whole life has led me to this. Today is the day. The day. Everything starts and ends here. Shh, just breathe. Babyface tells himself as he is on the train looking up at a poster of renewal. Such irony, as the thing that once promised Gotham a bright future of growth and prosperity diminished and degraded the city it pretended to care so much about into the unrecognizable cesspool it is now. Our boy is now at work putting in his hours, doing what he does best, minding his own and crunching the numbers. He tells himself how he can barely contain himself today. His heart beats so loudly and wonders if the whole office can hear it. I sit here and I visualize every part of the plan, like tiny dominoes falling, unfolding like a magic trick. I walk through the dream again and again, each time ironing out any wrinkles that may occur till I could see it perfectly. Judgment Day is finally here. Can't waste time on mice, our boy tells himself as he looks into Zach's office. Typical Zach, wasting his time on these low IQ dating websites. Gotham Lonely Hearts. Classic. A sight of total degeneracy. Must be why Zach spends most of his working hours on there, wasting all of his dopamine on the instant gratification of shallow messages, empty hookups, and dead-end conversations. A question mark pops up. Zach gets caught off. Babyface is making sure Zach will be at whatever is going on later, so he does what he can. It must be an invite to the election party as Zach types a "see you there" into the message bar. Better not tell her I didn't vote, Zach says to himself as he smiles at his delusional level of riz. Classic Zach tactic of lying to women to make himself look good when we all know he isn't. Our boy creeps from afar, confident in what he is cooking up. Goodbye, Babyface says to himself as he leans back in his work chair, admiring himself at how well he is pulling the strings. We catch up with Higgins as he arrives back at the rescue after what I assume to be a pleasant visit with Oz. How could it not be? Oz is so sweet and charming. As he is unlocking the door, he steps in a puddle of water which was leaking from the other side. He wonders to himself who on earth left the water on. He steps in and knows something is up. It's pitch black. He flicks the lights on, but there's no power. So he yells at the now long gone off to a better life Miss June to get her ass back here and demands to know what the fuck is going on. As he remains alone in the darkness with no response from Miss June, he turns on his phone's flashlight to gain some awareness of his surroundings to find a note left for him taped to the wall. He picks it up and it reads, "You know how Mr. Falcone gets rid of his dead bodies, don't you?" Calling back to a few issues ago of him saying the very same thing. Confused, the words "what the" seem to fall straight out of his mouth as a giant crocodile emerges from the darkness, freshly fed and all strung out from the drugs, fully unleashed from his shackles, ready to kill anything in its sight. Higgins is caught entirely off as he drops his phone in the water surrounding him, killing the only source of light that he has. He pulls out his gun to shoot the killer croc, or at least hopes to shoot it as he is shooting in pitch black. The gunshots are the only things which are illuminating his surroundings, only for a split second, but that isn't enough for Higgins to make clear and concise shots at the monster. Higgins fails in his attempts to silence the beast, as it silences him once and for all, as it closes its mouth down on top of him, crushing him at his core as Higgins lets out the only thing that he can, one final scream. Good riddance. We catch up with Mr. Stone. Receiving a call, he reaches into his coat and answers it. He is told from the person on the other line that there is a problem down at New Beginnings, apparently some flooding. Stone asks why he is being called and not a plumber. The caller tells him how the neighbors apparently saw some blood mixed in with the water and decided to call the cops. Stone doesn't like what he just heard and asks how much product they had back there. The caller isn't sure, but tells Stone that there is a much bigger problem than the cops finding their drug supply. He is informed that Higgins is dead. The man on the phone tells Stone that they have to assume a shipment of product has been lost. Someone's gonna have to take the fall for that. Stone asks if anything else was found in the back room. The caller wonders if he should be worried if there was something found. Stone tells the caller to calm down, and that he'll send an extra donation over to Pete and make sure that his department takes good care of the scene. The caller asks about what Mr. Falcone will think about this mess, and who's going to cover the losses that they have just suffered. Before Stone is able to respond to the caller, he is lost for words as he signs into his renewal program email to find 2 confidential messages waiting for him. Now, wondering what the fuck is going on, he unlocks the email and is stunned. Stone immediately tells the caller he is going to have to call him back. Taking a look on what is inside, he comes to realize the email consists of all the receipts of every shady thing that he has been up to. Still on the line, the caller tells Stone that New Beginnings is his turf and asks if he's got someone who's going to cover for Higgins, or better yet, cover for him, since everything is about to come crashing all down. A green chat log pops up on screen. Stone looks confused at what's going on. A picture of his family pops up in chat with the text, "What will they think?" written beneath. Absolutely lost for words, the caller asks Stone if he's even hearing him since there's an emergency going on. Something else pops into chat. It says press play. Without hesitation, he presses it. They are audio recordings of when Mr. June got fed to Killer Croc. While still being on the line, the caller heard what was just played and asks what it was, wondering if anything was all right over there. 2 options proceed to pop up in chat. One says click here to send to your family. The other says click here to send to Mr. Falcone. Well played, babyface. Well played. As Stone's entire world is spinning out of control, he drops the phone and clenches his hands together, unsure on what to do, wondering if what is going on is even real. "Hello?" the caller asks. "Someone's gonna have to take the fall, Chief." We end Stone's story there, as this is the last we see of him. I can't imagine he would have seen a happy ending of any sorts. Mans deserves the Higgins treatment, or maybe something where he can live with the consequences of his actions instead of a quick cop-out, like spending the rest of his days behind bars in what I assume to be the worst prison in the country, since this is Gotham City. Edward sits there at work as he watches everyone in their Halloween costumes behind their masks. His mask is on as well, his Edward Nashton mask. I believe in Gotham. I believe in its promise. I seem to be the only one who truly does these days. It's sad, although it assures me that I have a duty. But too many have been left behind for far too long, and that's why I'm here today, to renew the promise of this city. Wow, Stone hung himself? What the fuck? What a little bitch. Tonight, your light will shine for me. Tonight, you will hear my call. Will you answer? Finally, after all of this time, this will all make sense soon. You will thank me for all that I have done, and I know you will appreciate everything that will come from here on out. I will see you soon, friend. I slick back my hair to wrap it back. It is now time. My mask sitting close by, eagerly waiting to make its introduction to the world. I am about to be myself for the first time in my life, free from anything that was once holding me back, ready to embrace everything lying in store for me. I now leave behind Edward Nashton, the quiet, meek accountant, unworthy of life's great fortunes, as I now embrace the very thing deep inside of me which has been waiting until this very moment to be freed. I fasten on my new identity, bury the old one away, and feel as I have been reborn, renewed and relieved from the troubles and turmoil that have come before me, as it is now being used as fuel as I spark a match for the powder keg it supplies. I am Edward no longer. I am the Riddler. Shh, just breathe. Man, what an ending. What an issue. What a series. Holy shit. So it looks like we end right before our boy goes off to Don Mitchell's house to fulfill the first part of his master plan. It's crazy how reading this, like knowing full well where he ends up, a part of me keeps being like, no, Edward, you can go back. You can be saved. But we all know that he can't. This is his destiny. But I mean, like, he's been fucked around so many times by the worst kinds of people his entire life. He's seen corruption firsthand. And then even figuring out that his first and only job has had a massive hand in this corruption, man, like, I'm not saying it's right, but I get it. And to me, that's what makes such a good villain. One where you can understand their motives, one where you can sympathize and empathize with them, and one who fully believes that they're right in what they're doing. He's not even like a full-on villain if you think about it. He's more so like an anti-hero, since he's not inflicting vengeance on anyone who doesn't deserve it. But I mean, like, this man was behind the DA crashing a van into a funeral full of like hundreds of people. And he also flooded the entire city, probably also killing hundreds of people in the act. Oh man, I gotta stop making excuses for him because that's straight up villain shit, but it's so hard not to. It's babyface. He just gets deeper and deeper in his own psychosis over time to the point of fully losing himself inside of it, inside the grand scheme of it all. He could have had such a bright future in what he was doing if he wasn't in Gotham and was in an actual healthy workplace environment. But I'd be damned, dude. Our boy deserves better. Yo, I forgot to turn my light on. Hold up. There we go. It's a little crazy to think that this series is now done. Like, I've been so invested in this from the start. The story of Edward Nashton, our boy Babyface, has been so fascinating to me ever since issue 1. Something about him I could just totally like empathize with, and I feel a lot of people could relate to his struggles. Paul Dano did an excellent job at making everybody connect to our boy Babyface and fleshing him out so much more from what we were given within the movie. And I gotta admit, this reinvention of the Riddler has become one of my favorite characters and also my favorite iteration of the Riddler. The backstory that they gave him in the orphanage remains my favorite, as I think it was a chef's kiss to his story. I love how that issue can serve as a standalone within this series. It's a little sad knowing this series is no more due to the emotional attachment that I grew to this entire thing, but I mean, like, all good things gotta come to an end. And I really hope more comic runs come from this universe in the future. There's just so much good content to explore, and the universe that Matt Reeves made for us is perfect for that. And maybe, if they do make another comic run, I'm gonna be sure to cover it. This universe is perfect for so many different kinds of genres of story, and I really hope to see that fulfilled through like movies, TV shows, comic runs, and even books. Fuck yeah for books. So to all of the viewers who have stuck with me through this ride, I want to thank all of you for sticking around. You all make the super long process of making these videos worth it, because believe me, it's long. And I really love and appreciate all of the overwhelmingly positive feedback and response I've gotten over these last 5 issues. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap this up one last time. So my name is Freddy Savage, bringing you the Riddler Year 1, Issue 6, concluding for you guys the Babyface Adventures. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good night. Peace.